I thought Mother's Day dinner was supposed to be about love, family, and gratitude. After raising my son for 30 years, I believed I deserved at least one peaceful evening together, but halfway through dinner, I heard my daughter-in-law whisper something to the waiter that broke my heart. "We're not paying for her." She wasn't joking. She was talking about me. My own son heard every word, and instead of defending me, he simply nodded. I didn't argue. I didn't create a scene. I just kept eating quietly. But when the bill finally arrived, the restaurant manager walked toward our table. He looked at my son and daughter-in-law and said one sentence that made their faces turn completely pale, because they had no idea who I really was. "My name is Margaret, and for most of my life, family was everything to me. I was never a wealthy woman. I didn't own expensive jewelry or live in a huge house, but I had something I considered more valuable than money: a family I loved. My husband and I worked hard to give our son, Daniel, a better life than we had. We sacrificed vacations. We saved every extra dollar. We made sure he had opportunities we never received. When Daniel was a little boy, he would hold my hand and say, 'Mom, when I grow up, I'll take care of you.' Those words stayed in my heart for years. I never expected him to become rich. I never expected him to buy me expensive gifts. I only wanted his love. After my husband passed away, Daniel became the most important person in my life. For a while, we were very close. He called me often. He visited every weekend. But everything changed after he married Jessica. At first, Jessica seemed wonderful. She was polite. She smiled often. She told me, 'I'm so lucky to have a mother-in-law like you.' I believed her. I welcomed her into my family. I treated her like my own daughter. But slowly, I started noticing small changes. The phone calls became shorter. The visits became less frequent. Every conversation seemed rushed. Whenever I tried to spend time with Daniel, Jessica always had another plan. At first, I ignored it. I told myself, "She's just busy. She has a lot going on." I made excuses because I didn't want to believe my own son was drifting away. Then came Mother's Day. Daniel called me and said, "Mom, Jessica and I want to take you out for dinner." I was surprised, but also happy. I spent the entire day getting ready. I wore the dress my husband bought me years ago. I wanted that evening to be special. When we arrived at the restaurant, everything looked beautiful. The lights, the music, the atmosphere. For a moment, I felt like everything was normal again. We sat together and ordered dinner. I listened as Daniel and Jessica talked about their lives. I smiled. I asked questions. I tried to be part of the conversation. But after a while, I noticed something. Jessica kept looking annoyed whenever I spoke. Every story I told seemed to bother her. Then the waiter came with the bill. I reached for my purse. I wanted to help pay. But before I could say anything, I heard Jessica whisper, "Don't worry, we're not paying for her." The words were quiet, but I heard them clearly. My heart sank. I looked at Daniel. He had heard it too. I waited. I waited for him to say something. Anything. But he just looked down and nodded. That hurt more than Jessica's words, because strangers can disappoint you. But when your own child stays silent, the pain feels different. I continued eating. I pretended I didn't hear anything. I didn't want to create a scene. I didn't want everyone in the restaurant looking at us. After dinner, the waiter brought the final bill. Jessica smiled. She looked confident, almost proud. Then suddenly, the restaurant manager walked toward our table. I recognized him immediately. His name was Thomas. He had worked at this restaurant for many years. He stopped beside me. "Mrs. Wilson." I looked surprised. "Yes." He smiled. "Is everything okay?" Before I could answer, Jessica interrupted. "She's fine. We're just finishing dinner." The manager, the person sitting quietly at the table, may have a story you know nothing about. The person you ignore today may be the reason you have opportunities tomorrow. Family is not about money. It is about respect. It is about gratitude. And most importantly, it is about remembering the people who stood beside you before you had anything to offer. Because one day, you may realize, the person you overlooked was the person who loved you the most.